Hello there, this is Calvin with Mini Pots once again. I'm doing something a little bit different this time. I'm doing a flip through of Psalms or 28 Psalms. This is a battle skirmish game. It was originally, as I understand it, written for a online zine. 28, I think is the name. They have a podcast as well. I think the podcast is 32. The format of it is very similar to Forbidden Psalm. We'll see that it is a both fantasy as well as sci-fi gaming experience. I just am really excited about this, have been, and I saw some questions on Reddit and Facebook about it, and I thought maybe I could do a flip through. Now, this is my second or third attempt at that. So let's see how this one goes. Now I'm going to zoom in a couple seconds. There is it written by Will Rahman. The whole premise of this series of games is you take a few miniatures, 4, 5, 6, put them on the battlefield, and you see where they can go. There is generally, in Forbidden Psalm, the lastwar, Dread Knights, kill sample process, and his latest one, which the title is escaping me. I will try to put a picture of it on the screen. There's a campaign that you follow. You have to do a series of events, and that it tells a story, and it's going to be different every time you play. The Forbidden Psalm, as from what I've seen, has the most scenarios to play, but that's also been out the longest, so I'm sure there's going to be new things coming out for some of the others. I know the Lastwar has a whole series of new games going on, or new scenarios that have been published through Patreon and some of the other little add-ons. So you'll find that the format, if you've seen any of the other books, if you haven't, hopefully this will inspire you to get it. It has a similar format: generic names, description of the game, creating a warband. Each of the stats are, you have a choice of 2 different stat lines. You can do it generically, or randomly, or you can choose it. The game has flaws and feats. Now you'll notice something in this game, it's more of an abbreviated version, and some of the weapon or equipment that is listed in here does not carry over to, it does not have the exact same stats that they have in some of his other games. The feel of it is like so many of the other things. It's a quick, easy, you get a 30 minutes to an hour long game of head-to-head combat, and it's a killer game. I have so much that every time I pick this up I get excited about it, and I want to make sure that comes through, that this is different than Forbidden Psalm, but it has, if you liked Forbidden Psalm, you'll like this. If you want to get this, I will, in a little bit later, I'll be adding some information about the pricing and availability. I'll also be mentioning a couple other upcoming projects that the author has. Monsters, all the from the other games, There's a procedural chart on how the monster behaves. Monster stats. There's some new monsters. I don't think there's any rehash of monsters from previous publications in this, but I'm pretty sure you could just take some of the other monsters and incorporate them in this if you wanted to. Of course, you have to have your loot after you kill your opponents. You want your team to build up. Now this is where you create random scenarios. It has a basic setup, the game length, deployment, random hostiles, if you've done any of the other games, he has the same or very similar campaign outline, how you gain an experience, what you can spend your experience on to advance your miniatures or your characters. The monster spawn rates, this is for random monsters, or if you're generating a scenario, what you might be going up against. The base size, I really like that this is in all of the, I'm sure there's some people that are going to think it's foolish or what a waste of time, but I really like this. This gives me an idea of how big the miniatures are. It just is a neat little feature. Why is it important to have it in here, even though you might be doing primarily ranged combat or however? You know how many minis go, if you have a small base, not so many minis can fit against that. But if you have larger mini, you can have, I don't know, 8. I was fighting in another scenario. I had all 5 of my minis around one guy. They were each slugging it out. So this is a basic thing here in the middle of the book. Rules are not clear. This is how you should interpret it. 28 Psalms is designed as a narrative game and rule set, not designed for competitive play. As such, if a rule is unclear, you should discuss with your other players how to resolve it. This is a game about having fun and telling stories. If you cannot come to an agreement on the outcome or interpretation of a rule, then roll a dice to determine the outcome or ask me, the writer. I'm happy to clarify intent, but as a failsafe, consider the spirit of the rule, not the letter, as the more important factor. So it's about telling the story. You generate a hostile war band if you're doing solo. It has 3 scenarios included in this book, which I really think this scenario here, scenario 3, fight for control of the city. It is a campaign unto itself. Each of your Dark Lords is trying to carve out a niche for themselves and wants to control the city. The city has 15 districts. You start by controlling just 1 per player. You cannot attack another player's district until all other districts have been controlled by 1 player. Then you do attack a player controlling district play scenario 1. So you go back to scenario 1. But I can see doing a map and defining each area, and from that you move, how long it takes to move from area to area, and there's so many possibilities in this. It gives a idea on the threats that you would encounter. This does not include random monsters that you generate from the previous list, so you would include those plus these. It gives an idea of how to win, setup. This is just, to me, a really, really cool part of the Forbidden Psalm universe. Something different, and if you know any of the other publications, there's always something a little bit different in the game, the Dark Lords, where you can choose a Dark Lord they give you different benefits. Lords of agitation oppose directly to the lords of oppression. They wish to see every soul free to die how they so please. Benefit, if you choose this lord, is warband members gain free Molotov at the start of each scenario if they have equipment slots free. And it gives you an idea of how to play a campaign with the Lords of Dark Lords. Then you have this really, really sweet looking character sheet. Simple, everything's there. I think this might be available on his website as a downloadable option. I don't know for sure, but it has everything there. Your gold, your experience, stash, and notes. It is just an awesome little game. Now I know he has a website, Forbidden Psalm, where you can purchase it on. I'm going to check how much, if it's available on either Wargame Vault or Drive-Thru RPG, and that is going to be coming next. I'll be showing that in just a second. Thank you very much. So I just got off the Wargame Vault webpage. It is not located there, but it is on Drive-Thru RPG. It is pay what you want, $3. It is well worth the $6 mark, but I can understand if you're starting. I was that way. I got the Lastwar PDF at a special pricing, and it's well worth it. It's everything you could possibly want in a small table size and small warband, and it is solo playable as well as 2-player, 3-player playable. It does outline rules for multiple players in here and how to adjust the scenarios or the conflicts and random numbers to accommodate for more opponents or more participants in the battle. Again, thank you very much. Hope this helps some with this, getting some people on board and understanding it and thinking about it. He does have the author of this does have a new project starting on Kickstarter. Hope is for the Dead, which is a zombie apocalypse game. I have on his Patreon, he made it an option to download the playtest rules, and from that you could play. I think it has 7 different locations and basic rules, and it's like so many of those other games. It's something to be mindful of if you're into a zombie apocalypse game. It's not as granular as some of the others, but I played it. I played 7, 8 games of it, and I've enjoyed it. Anyway, different video. I apologize again. Sorry for waffling. The 28 Psalms. I'd seen some comments on Reddit and Discord and some of the other social media platforms sort of talking about it and not really saying much, and I think it merits some serious consideration. And I'm hoping that the author is going to do a larger campaign of this, but I don't think he has any intent in the near future. But we make plans and they go a different way oftentimes. Thank you again. Remember to like and subscribe. Please leave a comment if I need to do something or you have some suggestions on different things I could do. I appreciate it, and I will get back to you. See you later. Thank you.